Hey, this is EZ for my latest sponsor, ExpressVPN. You know, Netflix has different content available to users depending on where they're located. Netflix has thousands of shows, but you can only get access to a fraction of that because of where you are. If you're utilizing Netflix without using ExpressVPN, it's like paying for a gym membership, but only being able to use the treadmill. So, how does this work? ExpressVPN lets you change your online location so you can control where you want Netflix to think you're located. They have almost 100 different server locations, so you can gain access to thousands of new shows. I'm talking like Star Trek, the original series on UK Netflix, Brooklyn Nine-Nine on Canadian Netflix, Rick and Morty on French Netflix, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air on Indian Netflix, the Harry Potter movie series on Australian Netflix. The list goes on and on. In the EZ household, we utilize ExpressVPN, and we've unlocked so much content that my family and myself can enjoy. But then you might be like, Eric, we can use other VPNs. No. Listen, blazing fast speeds, stream in HD with zero buffering, compatible with all of your devices, phones, laptops, media consoles, smart TVs, and more. And it encrypts your data. ExpressVPN has the added benefit of encrypting your data so you can browse the web securely. Look, be smart. Stop paying full price for streaming services and only getting access to a fraction of their content. Get your money's worth at expressvpn.com/Zane. Don't forget to use my link at expressvpn.com/Zane to get an extra 3 months of ExpressVPN for free. Okay? Yes, it's time. Hello. We meet again for the 8 millionth time. The Eric Zane Show podcast, a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures. Thank you so much. You see, I'm wearing the Pete's Auto Parts gear. They just got broken into. Okay, so what they do there at Pete's, hang on a second. The threshold on this mic is weird. Stand by. A little too wonky for your old pal EZ. This is a business up the road here. This is the second time this happened. There was a news report on Channel 8. I'll actually pull it up here. God damn it. These folks over at Pete's, they've been, they keep getting broken into. I can't find it. I'll get to that on the Patreon. I don't even know why I started to go down that road. Every time I do that, I'm like, why am I trying? Okay, let me focus here because the title of today's podcast is going to pique some interest. The countdown is on to our latest show on Patreon. Who are these Steve and Kyles? This is yet another review show where Ben and I pull clips and review the show, and we roast it. We have a great time goofing on it a little, no big deal. Steve, of course, of the Free Beer and Hot Wings show, and Kyle, known for his 6-day radio career that started in April of 2016 with your old pal EZ. And then 6 days into it, local whistleblower Andrew Cloudkicker reached out with some pertinent information. Fast forward 24 hours, Kyle is no longer at the radio station. What happened? What happened? Well, anyway, I'm just giving you the background so you know who's who and what's what. Kyle, for a period of time, was I think he would host. We had like a best of show that we would do on Free Beer and Hot Wings, and he'd drag his ass into there and like host the best of. I just checked his LinkedIn about what he did. I'll make sure that his boss is able to hear the episode of Who Are These Steve and Kyles, Kyle has always been known to penetrate the backside of topical news stories and just thrust himself repeatedly in to a tight spot, even though it might be a little dirty. Really willing to go deep on the news stories and the comedy to get to the bottom of any situation, to make sure that it's full of laughs and detail. Like if you're walking around counting your steps, maybe you got your pedometer and you're listening to the Steve and Kyle show, you can sure pass the time appropriately with some big laughs. So I'm really excited about that. Kyle is one to always force his will upon others, especially, you know, hypothetically, a young neighbor. But, you know, that's all in an attempt to be hilarious and awesome as he is. So we've teamed up with Andrew Cloudkicker to bring you Who Are These Steve and Kyle's coming up on Thursday. Now, when it comes to reviewing shows, as you know, Ben and I like to do that. We like to review old episodes of mine. And, of course, we do Who Are These Zanes? We do Who Are These Free Beers, where we review various episodes of Free Beer and Hot Wings, much to the delight of many, many people. Thank you very much. It is our growing audience on Patreon. Thank you. But this is a new one. It's been a long time coming. So this will be woven into the fabric of Patreon for as long as we can stand it, because I'll tell you this, of all the shows that I've had to review, probably my least favorite show to review are anything involving me. I hate the sound of my own voice. Whenever I listen to myself, I'm always like, oh, fuck, why did I say that? I should have said this. I hate listening to me. But this will quickly overtake that. It's extremely hard to pull clips from this show. And I'll talk more about this when I sit down with Ben, when we actually do Who Are These Steve and Kyle's in conjunction with Andrew Cloudkicker. It's an Andrew Cloudkicker production is what we're doing. And that will be Thursday of this week. It'll be a Big Fraud Thursday with my pal Ben Glaze. But the thing about that show is they don't really talk about anything. It's all one big inside joke between them. And no matter how many episodes you listen to, you always feel like they're about 5 steps ahead of you, but not in a good way. Not like they're on top of anything. I think for the number of episodes that they've put out, and they've been doing this since, I believe, 2016, I don't think I've ever really encountered a show, and, you know, I'm always an asshole, but there are times when I'll tell you that I'm actually being focused and trying to be critical in a way that's actually helpful. That's right now. Unless they're actually trying to be horrible, which they might be. It might be all one big gag. I've not really ever listened to anything quite like them. A show that really, really works hard at saying and doing some things that are truly pointless. Unlistenable. I found myself, like yesterday, I was driving to the Michigan Rangers soccer game. It's 5:30 in the afternoon, and I put it on, and about 5 to 10 minutes into it, my eyes started getting heavy. Now, I've had this happen many times since I've been reviewing their shows, but I've been like, well, maybe I'm just tired. Maybe it's just this. But literally every time that I've listened to that show, I've found myself, my brain just completely shutting down. And again, they might be shooting for this. So I will say that it's, I really kind of have to put my thinking cap on to figure out an approach on what clips to pull, because it's essentially very numbing to my brain to listen to it. And as much as I love to just insult a person like Steve and for goddamn sure Kyle. Holy fuck. It's hard to put into words how much of a nothing existence this show is. And these two think it's a fucking riot. They are having a good time. They are really, truly having fun doing this show. And I'm like, well, I mean, maybe that's what they're shooting for. Maybe they're just screwing around, but they seem to put a fair amount of effort into it, but not enough to be in any way listenable. I just had a conversation with Ben. Do you know what episodes of Steve and Kyle you listen to? Because he's going to start his review. And I wrote, yes, I listened to quite a few. May 7, May 14, May 21, May 28. Good luck. Your mind is going to go numb. And frankly, I think I have just enough clips with those 4 episodes. And make no mistake, it's not because you have to search to find something that's bad. It's all bad. But it's so desperately dull and ridiculous that it's all kind of foggy, and it's tough to really find something that you can park on that is something you can make fun of. Okay? Really, really difficult. So 4 episodes. I mean, normally if I review Free Beer and Hot Wings, one segment of one show gives me 10 to 15 clips. No lie. So, my God. Now, if you want to go ahead and listen yourself and you think that there's something interesting, I may need your help as an audience for this. So, go ahead. You can find the Stephen Pyle. That's funny because it is a pile. The Stephen Kyle podcast, wherever you download shows. Listen to it, and it was like, okay, easy. 4 minutes in of this episode, Kyle is talking about a local neighborhood boy. Hypothetically, of course. One thing I'll give Kyle is he sounds positively, he sounds very energetic and engaged about something that is absolute shit. And I don't know how he's able to keep that type of intensity and like spring in his step, so to speak, when he's doing the show, when it's the content that it is. It is so bad. Oh, my God. Patrick says, thank you, EZ. The work that has gone into reviewing that piece of shit show must have been such a drag. Nick checks in with something completely different up north. He says, hey, my mom listened to a show for the first time up north. She complimented your voice multiple times. You mean like the radio show or the podcast? I hope it was the radio show, and I hope it was not the podcast. Your mother should not be listening to this garbage. Jeremy says, I'm assuming referring to Steve and Kyle, it's drivel. It's painful drivel. Drivel is a underused word. Speaking with no point, no clear beginning, middle, and end, no arc, nothing. Just talking. That's drivel. Chris, who I just saw yesterday, says, I cannot wait for the beat up. The free beer joke reactions were great last week. Oh, my God. There is nothing better than a free beer bummer joke. He'll throw out these turds, and there's like 18 people in that room, and he gets nothing in the goddamn room. Oh, my God. It's fantastic. It's so great. I love it. Painful to listen to, but You can only take so many of those because they're so uncomfortable. I know what you mean. Nick says, no, you see the podcast. Mom's been a Stern fan for 30 years. She can handle it. Oh, okay. Jeremy says Mr. Cloud Kicker has made himself known. Oh, yeah. He's a key sponsor of the podcast. The Ben and Eric, I should say, the Who Are These Stephen Kyles podcast with Ben and Eric is brought to you by Andrew Cloud Kicker. Ben and I have teamed up with Sir Cloud Kicker to deliver this timely piece of audio. All right. So I'm excited about it. Now, it's about all I have to say about it. So here we are on Monday. The show happens Thursday on Patreon. Now, we do it live first with video. And then a day or two later, I will post the audio. There are two ways you can subscribe to Patreon. Just audio, $5 a month, or audio, video, live streams. If you want it when it drops Thursday live, that's tier 2. You got to sign up for tier 2. It's $10 a month. It's more valuable than anything else you pay for in an online subscription to anything that exists in the world. patreon.com/Eric Zane. The good news, you can catch the debut of Who Are These Stephen Kyles for free on Patreon. So when you go there, like I just told you to patreon.com/Eric Zane, sign up for 7 days, and then 1 second later, cancel it. Cancel it. Okay? You will still get the 7 days free. I don't care if you cancel it. I just want you to try the content. That's the point. And if you sign up for it and then forget that you signed up for the 7 days free, it'll charge you. And I don't want you to get charged for something that that you aren't sure you're going to pay for. So that everybody's on the same page. Sign up, cancel, enjoy 7 days. If you love it, sign up again and pay for it. If you don't, then you just let it go, and then it doesn't charge you. Fair and square. That's the way I roll, motherfucker. It was a real bummer Saturday. I reached Chris D, who's in here right now. He says to me, EZ, can you take the conversation with Trump you had on the show Friday and post it as just the interview? I want to share it with some friends. Now, I've done that in the past, and I was going to do that with this one because it was an exceptional edition of my phone call with Trump. And I said, thank you for the reminder for that. I am going to do that. And then I did it. So after I post it to the free platform, I then like to take the link from the audio and put it on Facebook and X and Instagram and say, you may not know this, ladies and gentlemen, but EZ speaks regularly with the real Donald Trump. And then it says, EZ's aunt worked for Trump's campaign back in the day, and they porked. Now, that should be the first clue. Well, in addition to just the absurdity of it all, that's the first clue. The second clue is, if I'm writing my aunt porked Donald Trump, like that sounds believable, right? So I wrote, EZ's aunt porked Donald Trump. And eventually she tipped off Trump to the podcast. He liked it. One day he called the show, and the rest is history. That's it. Now, that's ridiculous, and it's suspending reality. It's just silly. It's dumb. But I think 50% of the people that commented on it believe that that was actually goddamn Donald Trump. Some didn't even listen to it. One idiot said, I don't have to listen to it. I know what he's going to say. All he does is says the same shit over and over again. It's like, oh, God, you fucking moron. But then the guy on Instagram who wrote, well, EZ, it's time for us to part ways. I supported you from all you've been through. But I draw the line here because you're talking to him. Oh, my God. I used to have a broadcasting teacher by the name of Vicki Ratliff. She was one of the professors at Central Michigan University. I think she's dead. Maybe not. I don't know. But she said one time, we were in our radio class, and she had some seriously good chops. She knew great sensibility, Vicki Ratliff. She said, you need to come to grips with this. Your audience is always basically stupid. And I don't know if I necessarily believe that, because I like to think that the audience that I have is, and particularly this show, especially after the weeding out of the former Zaniacs, that I have a fairly smart audience here. Very in tune. So I don't know if I believe that, but for that moment in time, when I read that dumb fuck thought that was actually Trump, and I'm like, oh, fuck me. Are you kidding? So I wrote, moron. Now, I hate to do this because I love the theater of the mind. But when you're dealing with retards, sometimes you have to. I said moron. It's a Trump impersonator. And then I posted right after that, you cannot possibly be this dumb. Or how dumb are you? And that stupid fuck did not reply. Now, if that were me, I would just take the L and say, oh, God, this is embarrassing. Easy, I'm totally kidding. Let's pretend this didn't happen. This fucking twat didn't say shit. Then I screenshotted the entire interaction and put it on Facebook. I go, look at this. Would you fucking look at this? Oh, my God. Very disheartening. Cole writes, how can anyone that's listened to you for any amount of time be such a pussy? Chris said Justin Barclay probably thinks you really got him on the air and is outraged that he couldn't get him. Cole says, wait, what? That's not Trump? You lied to our ears. Tyler says, Easy needs a sign that says your IQ must be this high to listen to the podcast. Ryan writes, I don't understand, Big Fraud Zane. I thought this entire time you were talking to Donald Trump. You're telling me this was some cheap impersonator? Listener Jason says, wait, that isn't the real Trump. I liked you because you talked to him. Donut Dan, well, I'll be seen very soon, says, amazing how freaking stupid Americans are nowadays. There are many days when what you say pisses me off, Easy, but I love hearing other opinions so that I am not just listening to only one side. What an idiot. And prime candidate for asshole of the day. God damn it. Yesterday, it was another rip-roaring adventure over to the east side of Grand Rapids. Beautiful Davenport University. The home of Michigan Rangers FC NPSL soccer. You're like, Easy, you fucking hate soccer. No. I hate watching soccer on TV, that's for damn sure. But I've really enjoyed the two games that I've seen so far of the Michigan Rangers. Thank you to Chris D for inviting me to be there to be the PA announcer. There is no one better at saying free kick, Michigan. Corner kick, Michigan. Substitution, Michigan. I'm glad you bring this up, Chris, because he says EZ does not hate soccer that turns into a UFC match. Exactly what I wanted to talk about. From my observations in the press box watching this game, first of all, Michigan won 5-1. It was actually a pretty back and forth game early on, and then the team from Erie, PA kind of came unglued. And I don't know what was going on, but can I just say, when it comes to the referees, without saying anything too inflammatory, those refs suck cock. You wouldn't have believed it. There were times when, like, let's say the ball's coming in and two guys are going to, like, head it, and their number 4, when he's going up to head it, he would wrap an arm around the neck of our guy. They're in the air going for the same ball, and then number 4 would whip him down by the goddamn neck. Our guy winds up on his fucking back, and he's laying there, and he has this look. He his hands are out to his side, like, what the fuck? And so you think for sure there's just going to be not only a free kick, but probably a yellow card on number 4. Number 4 got a yellow very early in the match. If he'd have got another one, he's done. Now, the game's already over. We're beating the shit out of him at this point. But the last probably 15 minutes of that game, it was one after the other, Erie ripping our guys to the ground. And like in that play I was just describing to you, our guy was the one who got called for the foul. That happened all the fucking time in that game. That one ref, he must have been sucking the dick of somebody from the opposing team or something. I don't know what the fuck is going on there, but it was awful. Really, really bad. And so then the fans start getting pissed off. Now, it's a little bit weird because you got a lot of youth players that are there that are watching the match, and there's a lot of adults that are watching the match. You got to understand, this league, it's comprised of people that can play at a high level, but some are doing it just because they love soccer. Some are older cats, and some are young that are entering the college level of soccer, and their coaches at their college level teams are saying, hey, I want you to keep playing soccer, play for the Michigan Rangers. They play, you can get like 10, 12 games in the summer, and you can stay sharp and then come back to school and you can kick ass. So you've got a wide range of age groups playing this sport. So you've got a lot of fans that are there, and, they've got a vested interest in this. And then there's one dude in particular who he starts talking shit to the refs as this game's getting more and more descending into madness as the game is going on. So what starts out is fan going, oh, come on! It turns into, you better watch it, ref! I mean, he's real aggressive, really, really bad. And so it's starting to get real ugly. And then my man, Chris here. Okay, so we're in the press box, and Chris didn't get there till late because he had to drive all the way from Petoskey in the middle of the day down to, that's a 3.5, 4-hour drive because he was coaching a kids team. And then he gets there like with 20 minutes left in the game. And it's starting to descend to madness. He has to open the window and stick his head out of the fucking thing and say, excuse me, sir. Sir, can we maybe calm it down a little? Because like the fans are right there. It's not like, fucking Wembley or anything like that. It's just a small venue. Holy shit. It was so goddamn awkward. But I got to give it up. Michigan stayed very calm. I don't think they lost their composure once, but they were getting mugged. And you would think that after enough, somebody's gonna get pissed off, and then a fight is gonna break out. They did not. They totally just turned the other cheek, which is cool, I guess, because it can get ugly, and then you got all sorts of trouble if you start a fucking fight. But that Erie team, they started to get the shit kicked out of them, and then they fucking went bonkers. Jesus. But a good time to be had by all. You should really come and hang out with me at one of those games. We will do it again. Let's see. Coming up on Saturday the 8th, 7 p.m. Chris, which field are we playing at? The Farmers Insurance Field or the one right on Davenport's campus? I don't even know. But it was cool. I love it. So come. I think it's like a handful of bucks to get in. The kids love it. And then I forgot one key part that Chris just pointed out. One of the staff from the Erie team was up in the press box with us, right to our right. And he's like taking notes about how they're playing some dude from Great Britain or some shit. Oh, my God. And we were worried that it was just weird to have all of us up there from the Michigan team and him right next to us. But everybody behaved. Now, Chris, you said the student center field. I don't know what the fuck that is. The big one or the little one? Yeah, yesterday was the little one. The first game was the big one. Which one? Student center field means nothing to me. I don't know these things. You got to tell me. Nick says soccer has quickly become my second favorite sport. Wow, well, you should show up there, Nick. And bring your squares. Bring your darts, God damn it. Chris says, where we were yesterday, LOL, the little field. Oh, yeah, it's at Student Center Field. Pfft, what? So then I'm acting like when I'm up there in the press box, guy from the Erie team is to my right. And what's a dude? Colton? Is that him? To my left. And I mean, I know how to do PA, obviously, but I don't know shit about soccer. So thank God I've got people saying, okay, that's a foul. You got to call free kick. So I'm learning that. But then I asked a really dumb fuck question, I guess. And I was embarrassed because the guy to my right, I think he's got the same soccer pedigree as Messi or what's that one guy's name? Neymar, Neiman Marcus. Neymar? Is he still a thing or is he dead? I said to a dude next to me, I go, so can the other team pull the goalie like hockey? And he looks at me like, you fucking idiot. And I guess technically you can, but no one does. It doesn't matter. Like, how can it not matter? You got one more guy on there. Chris says the guy in the box was, it says, always so funny when you say they whenever one of us talks Kenney. I don't know what that means. Chris says he's on his way out, plays in the Saudi League. The guy that was in there with us plays in the Saudi League? That sounds cool. All right. So, no, I guess you don't pull the goalie, but what you do is, I figured this out. Let's say the other team is down a goal or two. What they'll do is they'll move everybody up. And then the goalie will act just as like a sweeper. Like the goalie will be just shy of midfield. And you put like everybody else down in the zone trying to make something happen. But it's a high risk, high reward. Because if somebody gets past, you can have a big moment. Like we had some fucker, I think his name is Pagano. Francesco Pagano, while the other team was pushing, the ball skittered past like onto the other side of the field, and he took off like a fucking bolt of thunder. Now, a few of these guys that play, they're older, like I indicated. And some of them are starting to get man tits, but they can still run very, very well. They're in that transition where they're still fast as fuck, but they've got titties. So you see this guy run like fucking grease lightning, but his tits are bouncing like crazy. So I'm a big fan of those guys that are in their like late 20s, early 30s that already are starting to sprout tittage. Very, very awesome. Rebecca says they need to ace bandage those things. Yeah, like bind them. Chris says some big collisions yesterday. We needed easy reaction cam when they collide. Great idea. I would love that. Oh. One of the things that gets me that I'm just picking up on about soccer is what's called a slide tackle. Now, I saw, I guess, some excellent slide tackles in that game because a guy from Erie has the ball and then our guy comes in and slides, and then somehow he gets the ball, and then on that spot he tackles the guy with his legs. And if you do it correctly and well, there's no foul. And I don't think I saw one foul from a slide tackle. I was like, fucking A, this is great. And then I saw a lot of, like if one of our guys is trying to get away from a defender, the defender will grab his fucking shirt and hang on to it. And I'm like, what the fuck? Blow the whistle. You can't hang on to his goddamn shirt, you fucking idiot. All right. Anyway, soccer Saturday. You need to go to the little field, Davenport University. So if you're in West Michigan and you go to the Farmers Insurance Field Complex, you're in the wrong spot. There's a bunch of asshole baseball players there. Fuck that shit. You got to go to actual Davenport University and then just kind of drive around and you'll find the soccer field. Pay some money, get in, and whatever. Watch the game. That means 7 p.m. kickoff. I'll be there. Come watch the game. You help support Chris's organization, Michigan Rangers, which Michigan Rangers is a soccer organization, all age groups. Little kids. You work your way up to all boys, girls. It's fantastic organization. Chris runs the damn thing. And he takes care of me, and I appreciate him having me be there as a PA announcer. It definitely is a joy, a real pleasure. Okay, for those of you that are watching the show on Facebook, X, and YouTube, first of all, let me say this. There has been a clear beginning, middle, and end of everything that I've talked about on this show so far. We've talked about three big things. We talked about promoting Stephen Kyle. We talked about Trump, idiots thinking that Trump is real. And then we talked about the fantastic soccer game yesterday and all the shit that went down. Okay, so those are stories. Beginning, middle, end. Keep the story moving, keep it engaging, keeping it fun, keeping it light, keeping it entertaining, talking with you, looking at your comments, weaving those in. That's all part of it. I say that because I don't want you to lose sight of just how shitty Stephen Kyle is. There's none of that in any of that show. It's so goddamn hard to listen to. So that you maybe get a feel for it, honestly, go out of your way, make a little mental note that at some point on any podcast platform, search Stephen Kyle Podcast, click on any fucking show, and listen to it for 10 minutes. motherfucker. So bad. So bad. Jesus. All right. So for those of you watching on Facebook, X, and YouTube, it is time to let you go. If you want my full show, it is available on, if you want the full show live, head over to Twitch, twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live, or download the Twitch app and search Eric Zane Live. There you go. Otherwise, if you want the audio podcast, this is the audio podcast after I do some arts and crafts on it. Boring. At the end of this, the audio podcast is available wherever you download shows. Just search my name, and you have it. Please subscribe. And then, of course, the Patreon. Totally different animal, different platform. All the different shows that I have there, including Stephen Kyle. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. If you want to reach out to me, I love corresponding with you. Reach out on the Shoreliner Striping inbox, eric@ericzaneshow.com. That is eric@ericzaneshow.com, the Shoreliners Striping inbox. Patrick in South Carolina adds, it's impossible to lose sight of how bad that show is. I wish I could lose sight of roast beef prices. Boy, there's been a unusually large amount of references towards roast beef prices. That's, I think, the new hot tub reference. Trump referenced it Friday about roast beef, the price of roast beef being through the roof, and now it seems to be being worked in every time I turn around. All right. I think there is some weirdness going on. I'm not sure what it is. I think there was some. How many listeners named Chris is there? Wouldn't that be are there? I am always so confused when a Chris is mentioned. Chris D says, always so funny when you say they, whenever one of us talks, Kenny, LOL. Bob says, easy there, Kenny. Remember the Doug debacle. Kenny says, so many Dougs and Chris's. I can't keep up, LOL. Chris says, there's like 3 of us, Kenny. You act like we're all the same every time. So is that a thing where Kenny, like every time I say Chris D, he writes, oh my, I can't keep track. It's so confusing. Yeah, I'm not sure. Bob writes, Kenny, I get confused half the time when Eric talks about Rob, and have to remember he usually refers to me as Bob. All right? Kenny adds to Chris, no, there's you, Chris from GR, Deep Voice Chris, or Chris from Buffalo. Deep Voice Chris and Chris in Buffalo are the same person. Chris in Minnesota, and like 10 others. I don't think there is. I think Chris D, Chris K, Chris in Buffalo. Chris in Minnesota never shows up here. Chris D says, yeah, but that doesn't mean we're all the same, man. Kenny says it doesn't make it any less confusing when everyone is just mentioned as Chris. Chris who? Chris where? But I'll shut up now, LOL. Well, I mean, I kind of go Chris D, Chris K, Chris in Buffalo. Right? Isn't that what I do? I think I pretty much try to make that a habit. Chris says, the same joke just gets old is all I'm saying, LOL. So I think Chris is saying, Kenny, you say that every time. Like, oh, man, I'm so confused. I don't know what to do. Oh, my God. I think that's what he's saying. I think he's suggesting you utter that out all the time. Kenney says, joke? If you're referring to me, I'm not trying to make a joke about the names. I'm honestly always confused, LOL. See, at this point, if I'm Chris, I'm like, you better ripcord. Because he's about to blow. Kenney says, I'm going back to being quiet and focusing on work now. Just say which Chris is all. Chris says, I'm not angry. I just feel like it's not confusing if you listen. All good, Kenney. Yeah, Chris doesn't have a bone in his body that's angry. He's always chill. He's a soccer dude. That's one thing I notice about soccer dudes. They're always like, yeah, whatever, man. It's cool. Yep. They're like surfers or people who play ultimate frisbee. Soccer people are like that. They have a long fuse. Kenney adds, hey, mate, contrary to popular belief, while working, I'm sure most people don't hear every single word, but maybe it's just me. Chris says, okay, Kenney, was right now this is confusing. Kenney says, legit, one of the nicest listeners you've ever had. All right, well, every time I'm going to have to make sure that when I'm doing the show, I think it's very important as we move forward, that if a story that I'm focusing on is Chris D with soccer, who contextually for years, I've talked about him as soccer, and he's been more in the front on the show because he's always been a strong contributor to content. Chris D sent me this. So contextually, it should add up, but I'm going to have to say Chris D. And if Chris K says something that's interesting, it's very important that I say Chris K. And if Chris in Buffalo says something, I have to make sure that's Chris in Buffalo. Now, at the end of the day, part of me wants to say to Kenney, shut the fuck up, and you're retarded. And who cares? And who gives a shit? But I'm not going to do that today. I am in too good of a mood to tell Kenney point blank, he is a fucking retard. I would not do that. That would be so rude if I looked Kenney straight in his virtual face and said, shut the fuck up, you fucking retard. I'm not going to do that. I love him. That would be so mean if I did that. So I won't. Instead, I'm just going to make sure so that he can keep score on his Chris score sheet, who the Chris D's are, the Chris K's are, and the Chris and Buffaloes. That's what we need to cover here. Chris says Kenney's got free tickets to our men's game if he can ever get up here this summer. Well, of course he can get up here. He'll jump in his 1988 Chevy Celebrity, and then he'll get up to about fucking Connorsville, Indiana, and then he'll sit next to the tow truck driver and have that guy tow his car all the way up to Michigan. And then he'll be stuck here in Michigan for life. We'll never get rid of him, and he'll end up living under a bridge. It's going to be fucking horrible. All right. Anyway, all I was trying to do was promote Patreon. And if you, again, on Facebook, X, and YouTube, I have not yet kicked you out, but I'm going to now. See what you're missing if you are not either on my Patreon or following me on Twitch. I'm kicking you all out. No more Facebook, no more X, no more YouTube. There's still plenty of show left. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let it be known that in 9 minutes I have a radio staff meeting. Facebook and Twitch brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. X brought to you by Blue Frost IT. Follow me on those platforms, as well as YouTube and Instagram. You can hire me on Cameo. I just did one for Father's Day for another person who reached out to me. Thank you very much. I think it was Jason and his dad. His dad listens. And let's see, where is it? Orders. Expired, completed. Yes, it was for Brian. And that was from, it doesn't matter. Why am I wasting my fucking time with this? Anyway, happy Father's Day. That's coming up right around the corner. Chris says, I'm trying to get Jason Terry back. Fuck that. You know that son of a bitch? Okay, well, I'm going to fucking fuck that up right now. This is how the only way you can bring that fucker back. Tell him to fuck off and die. Okay? That's the quickest. I'm going to be totally honest with you. That guy can suck my fucking dick. Fuck Jason Terry, that son of a bitch. I'll smack the fucking taste out of his mouth. You know him? Oh, I fucking hate that son of a bitch. Fuck Jason Terry. No, bullshit. Tell him I said all this. Tell him to check this show out and tell him I said to fuck off. He's with that whole bunch of fucking assholes. What a son of a bitch. How do you know that prick? And why do you even talk to that wishy-washy son of a bitch? Come on, Chris. You're fucking normal. You can't fucking hang around with these flakes. This is bullshit. Oh, boy, now I'm pissed off. I cannot stand that fucker. Ooh, boy. Chris says he's with the Zaniacs. I didn't know that. Not exactly. He doesn't think, because he's not as retarded as they are. But we're done. There is no going back. If I were you, I would not bring my name up to him. And if you do, tell him I said to suck my asshole while I'm shitting. Tyler says, I might be reading into things, but I think EZ does not like Jason Terry. No. All right. My God. We've got racing at Berlin this weekend. Thank you so much to Berlin Raceway for being on board with this show. I appreciate them. They're awesome. If you want to get in on tickets, all you do is you head to berlinraceway.com and you can check those out. $14 a pop. All right. You got the kids that are free, 15 and under. The parking is free. Drinks are cheap. You can bring in a cooler, 12 by 18 or smaller, with all of your snacks. No booze, no glass at Berlin Racing this weekend. We got Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. Top-notch place to get your vehicle repaired, 616-532-6600. They are the best. Thank you so much. We go way back. More than 5 years now, they have been supporting the podcast, and I am eternally blessed by them. Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. Top-notch sponsor for many, many years. If you need any type of repairs done on your car, please help me by going to them. It works out so perfectly because your car is going to be fixed right. You're going to be in such good hands. You're supporting a locally owned lady, veteran-owned. She's a veteran, just like KMK. Sorry. Business that supports the podcast. So when you let them know that you found out about them from us, from me, that's just validation that marketing on my show works. So please reach out to Irvines, ervines.com, ervines.com, 616-532-6600. That's 616-532-6600, ervines.com. Another great local business that's been with me since the beginning, A&E Heating and Cooling. These are all really old guard sponsors that are just fucking shiny and new to me. A&E, 616-516-8579. Do not trust him with medical advice. Don't listen to him about the Detroit Lions. Listen to him when it comes to your furnace and your air conditioning. Trusted source. This man has a key to my house. He just comes in. I leave the doors open. He just comes in when it's time to fix shit. Twice a year, it's maintenance. The AC tune-up, 616-516-8579. That's going to set you back $79. And it's going to get hot this week. So if you're in Michigan, if you're in West Michigan, you must get the tune-up for $79. Otherwise, your thing's going to blow up one day, and you're like, I know I got it tuned up. I'm a fucking asshole. 616-516-8579 for A&E Heating and Cooling. I guess my feed died. I guess it's reconnecting. That's a bummer. Anyway. All right, I'll be back right after this. Thank you so much. All right. Okay. Hello. Check. Testing. Hello to each and every one of you. Thank you. This is a Act 2 of the Eric Zane Show podcast. As I understand, Act 1, it kind of like the feed was cut off. Isn't that what you guys? I saw the conversation on the chat that as Act 1 was winding down, the usual comments of what happened? Oh my God, what was that? Holy shit, where'd it go? And because I guess when the feed cuts, you guys can still communicate. It's kind of like when they cut off Marie Antoinette's head, and then she was still blinking. That's a weird comparison. But, yeah, I don't know what the fuck happened there. It's weird. Okay. Nevertheless, just had the big radio staff meeting. That was the usual, nuts and bolts of the radio business. As you know, I'm a big radio insider, and I'm getting set to start yet another radio job. Oops. Oh, O'Neill coming in here now. Hey, big guy. Hey there. Hey, fella. Hey, big guy. Yeah. You want to come up here and show off? Come here. Come say hi. Come here. Come on up. Come see me. Come up. Say hi to Dad. Okay. There's a big fella. There you are, big fella. Oh, my God. He just loves...
Is there something else I can help with?
Oops, sorry. No, Siri. He's such a lover boy. Oh, my God. Hello, big fella. And then Darla's coming in now, too. So the whole gang is here. Look there's Stevie, big guy. Say, hi, O'Neill. Oh, my God. Stevie says, when can I see that boy? I want to see O'Neill all the time. When can I see that boy? Hi, handsome boy.
Hi, handsome boy.
When can I see that boy?
That boy. When can I meet that boy?
Pooh Bear, can you grab that door for me? Thank you. Yep, that's my handsome boy. When can I meet that boy? It's Stevie there. Hi, O'Neill.
Hi, O'Neill.
I want to see O'Neill all the time.
I want to see O'Neill all the time.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, honey, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, honey, how you doing?
I don't know what that was there. I think it started out as, "Hey, honey, how you doing?" But then there was like a little hitch in the giddy up. "Hey, how you doing?"
Hey, honey, how you doing?
Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws.
Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws.
A girl, I can get drunk on like 4 of them.
A girl, I can get drunk off of like 4 of them.
Fuck you, asshole.
Fuck you, asshole.
Mike, Mark, Pellerino, fuck.
Mark fucking Pellerino.
I'm sorry, I'm a little bit drunk right now.
And you guys are fucking assholes. I'm sorry I'm a little bit drunk. Whatever.
Okay.
Those voices you hear in the background are the jilted former Zaniacs. Remember those people? Oh, my God. How could we forget?
Don't suck a big black dick because I know you want to.
You know, I think we are about almost to the day right in the window of, I'm not exactly sure. It was 2 years ago that I said, fuck you to all of those people. And they all still enjoy the show. That is a fact. I can see it. I know who listens. Maureen says, I love a good Stevie mashup. All right, so your brain is going to be blown here. Let's do a Stevie mashup.
Hey, honey, how you doing? No laws when you're drinking. Whatever. Hey, honey, how you doing? Hey, honey, how you doing? Girl. When you're drinking. Hey, honey, how you doing? Hey, honey, how you doing?
All Stevie in all of its glory. That'll fry your brain right there. Okay. Saw the saddest thing the other day. This is going to stand out as weird because it's sad. But I am walking through Meijer, and Pooh Bear is there, and we're getting some things, and we're in like the produce section. And so I'm like far away, and as I'm walking towards where Pooh Bear is, because she's checking out the corn, and she's shucking a little bit to say, all right, this is a good one. We're gonna have corn on the cob. She's interacting with someone. She knows someone. And I saw her go in for the hug with so-and-so. And then I see so-and-so is scrunching up her face. And she's crying. I'm like, uh-oh. So, I come walking up. And they're both sobbing in the middle of Meijer. And I go, what is going on? Why is everybody crying? What is happening here? And I go up to this lady and I just hold her. I'm actually holding. I don't know who it is. I have no idea who this person is. I go, come here. What's the matter? And I'm holding on to this lady. Diana, let's go, this lady. And I'm thinking, why are we holding to this woman? And that's legit how it happened. Diana is holding this woman. They're both crying. I come walking in and, Pooh Bear, let's go. And I grab it. I go, what's the matter with you? And I start holding her. I go, what's going on? And she goes, Eric, this is so-and-so. She's the one who, now, as I understand this, it was some time ago, there was a horrible, horrible story where a mom, going through grief, a horrible grief. Her little son passed away suddenly. He's a Jenison school kid. He's like 12, 13 years old. And it's I don't want to get into too much of the detail of it, but it was a sudden loss. And this was like her first venture out of the house. Diana a couple of years ago, Diana was a full-time substitute teacher for a particular class in the district, like the whole year, because the teacher took like a leave for whatever reason. It was health reasons or was pregnant or having a baby or something. So this little guy was in that class. So Diana knows who this child is and knows the mom, has interacted with this lady many times in the past from a teacher parent standpoint. And Diana's always very hands-on with all the parents. And she's just Diana is the light of everyone's life inside of that school district. I'll tell you that right now. So Diana sees her, and then right away they just like, in the middle of Meyer, they're having this touching moment. And I was like, oh my God, something is going on here. So then I'm introduced, and she says, yes, Eric, this is, and her mother, I mean, she's the mother of, so I right away, I figured out, I go, oh my God, honey, oh my God. Oh, it was just, she goes, I know I'm trying. This is like one of my first, I'm slowly but surely coming. This is maybe a month and a half ago this happened. Oh, do not want to be put in that spot ever. That's the stuff that when I think about, like, I mean, I've had, when it comes to loss, I haven't had a lot. My mom passed away. My mom was elderly, of course. But I think when you're dealing with a child like that, I don't know how people get over that. And it breaks my heart every time I think about it, the loss of a child. How you manage. I don't know how people do it. Like our pals, David and Mary, the Veldings. They had to endure that as they lost the two children to AT. They, though, lived with AT, and they knew that the life expectancy was a certain, and so that became a reality. But in this case, this was a sudden loss. I don't know. I like to think of myself as, well, like whenever I hear about somebody who takes their own life, I'm always like, how? That type of grief, then I'm like, I can see it. I can see how a person would be so overcome with grief that they would think like that. You know what I mean? But Godspeed. And I just felt so sad for that sweet lady. All right. I know that just kind of dropped in out of nowhere, but that's kind of like how this show is most of the time. Bill Simonson is one proud daddy. I'll tell you this right now as we change gears here. I've talked to you about Ace Simonson. Now, this is the guy, Ace, who, when I was across the street at GRD and we used to pick on Bill, we used to make, we would attack Bill and pick on his kids because he named them Ace and Legend. Well, see, Ace is going to be a senior in high school. And I'm pretty sure that when Ace was in like second or third grade, he could have beat the fuck out of me. So it's a damn good thing that I quit picking on Bill's kids. Ace is like a man-child. I've talked about Ace before, and he just achieved star 3, third star status. High school football players, when they leave college, they're like 3-star high school All-American, 4-star. 4-star and up is ridiculous. Okay, that's like the type that you're going to make millions of dollars, 4-star and up in college. You go to college and you sign like a name, image, likeness deal. Okay, that's what Bill's kid is at. He's at 3 stars. So the kid has like worked his balls off, and then all throughout this offseason, he's going to these camps where, you know, he plays in front of big name coaches. He just got invited. He just got interest from Iowa in the Big Ten. First, he drew a lot of interest from small schools like Ferris, offering him like full ride scholarships. Ace is like 6'2", 290. He's 17. if he were to continue on the same trajectory that he's doing right now, so when he suits up in the NFL in a few years, he'll be probably 6'2.5", 6'3", 325 of muscle. I've seen video of how he plays. This big dude runs like the wind. You wouldn't believe it. Now, Nick brings up a great point. I hope he ends up at Ohio State. Exactly. In fact, I got to text that to Bill. That's a great line. I hope he plays for Ohio State. LOL. Because Bill is the biggest slappy for Michigan. Bill got a maize and blue. Half of his dick is maize and the other half is blue. Darla comes in here now. She's just checking in right now. Hey, Darla, how are you, darling? By the way, if my mic sounds different today, in the summer, I turned the threshold up on the gate because I don't want you to hear the air conditioner as much as you could in the previous episodes of this show. So anyway, the kid was just, I guess, over the weekend, he was invited to participate in, the school is Pittsburgh. Pitt. That's where he's at right now, or that's where he was over the weekend. I could have swore I had a, there it is. There's, look at this dude. This is the coach. His name is Pat Narduzzi. He's kind of a legendary coach. He's turning the Pittsburgh Panthers around. There's Ace. Ginger. So you know he's got an APP. So there you go. And then there's big fella, old Bill, who looks like he could still play too, with Pat Narduzzi. That's pretty sweet. I'm proud of that Ace Simonson, man. He is really kicking ass. And Bill's proud of him, too. Again, we got to keep our fingers crossed that he goes to Ohio State. It's a great... I have not even thought about that. I would love that. So the way it works is, since he plays for Forest Hills Eastern, I think, and I said, I got to see this kid play, Bill. Kevin Kuiper says, I've cooked food for Pat Narduzzi. Huh? How? Explain yourself. So he's got the rest of this offseason, and then he's going to go to some more of these camps and perform, and then you get more people that are checking the right boxes, and then you play your football season, and then he may end up as like a 4-star or a 5-star. You know how much... Okay, with every star, you slay more poon. So this is big. This is really big. And you know the way college athletics are nowadays, you can make tons of jack in college football. I would say he already can make some jack in college football for name, image, likeness. And he should. I love that. College athletes making money. And they're doing it right. The fact that you know, when they said that college athletes should be paid, and they're like, yeah, but what about the men's baseball team and the men's golf team? It's like, shut up. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. All that matters is football. Maureen says, didn't Narduzzi formerly coach at MSU? I don't know. I don't follow lower tier college football because MSU sucks. That program's been driven into the ground by rape and neglect and sexual harassment and horrible criminal activity. Michigan State sucks. Kenny says, He's quoting me. Hey, it's a great line. I hadn't even thought about it. Now watch me text it to Bill as if I had come up with it. Well, like it matters. Twat. Shut up. Kevin says, I worked catering for many years, and he was at a Peter Secchia party. Well, that explains it. He probably was a Michigan State slappy. Good thing he got out of that hellhole. That pile of shit school, which it is. I mean, I can't stand Michigan because of Harbaugh and because of Joe Martinez acting like a gloating jackass. But and just Michigan fan in general is basically a huge pile of shit. But Michigan wins, okay? There's no doubt about it. When they cheat, they win. When they cheat, they move the meter. It's bad when you cheat and can't win. When Michigan cheats, they win. All right? So there you go. I love that with Billy's kid. I'll be following. I'll be following. I will follow. Aram says, don't worry, Kenny. You still have scoreboard for Eric taking your Cairo recommendation. Well, do tell. How did I do that? I would love to hear how I took Kenny's recommendation about a chiropractor. Maybe you haven't been here, which, by the way, I have physical therapy again today. I am seeing some improvements in the with my nerve issue. I'm not having nearly as many flare-ups where my arm goes numb. And I think a lot of that has to do with my overall posture and the treatment that they have given me. So, yeah, I'm curious. Aram says, yeah, Kenny, say scoreboard because he took your Cairo recommendation. And Kenny says, ha, scoreboard. Are you guys living in some type of alternate reality? I don't know what you're talking about there. Anyway, as I was referring to this earlier, so I'm going to be on Big 101.3 very, very soon, Monday through Friday. So, yes, I'm stoked about that. EZ, the voice track king. So, if you want the fun hits you know, okay, from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and I don't think 90s. I think it's just the 60s, 70s, and 80s. You're going to tune into Big 101.3. All right? Big 101.3, the fun hits you know. Naked eyes. And always something there to remind me. Sounded like I had a stroke there. Coming up, we'll check out The Spirit in the Sky from Norman Greenbaum with your old pal EZ. Kenny says, I think Aram said that because your PT guy uses a similar approach or whatever you mentioned last week. Seems to me like you guys are cherry picking what I actually said and then kind of like spinning it. And then it comes out the other side like I said something that I didn't say. What my PT said is, chiropractors get you coming back with a neck crack, but don't actually do anything to rehabilitate the musculature to eliminate the need to keep coming back. So that doesn't sound like that much of a glowing review. So maybe you might want to rethink that. I don't know. Anyway, Tophus says, people never twist the truth. What do you mean? Well, yeah, I know I never do. I always tell you guys the straight info. You know? Aram says someone can clip the audio of the glowing review. You can clip it. You can clip it. By the way, that is my new favorite thing, the fact that you guys can take these shows on Twitch and you can clip little highlights. Say, Eric Zane said this. And it's there for everybody to check out. If you do happen to clip something, let me know because I don't ever look at it. Let's say, EZ, I just clipped this. Approve it. Because then I go in on my end and I have to say, yeah, allow it. So if I say, like right now, I'm going to say something. You could clip it. Hello, I'm Eric Zane. And there isn't a black penis that I wouldn't like to look at. So if you clip that, that would be good. There you go. Kenny says you have to do it immediately after when it's live, I believe. And then Eric has to authorize. Perfect. Just give me a heads up after you clip it. Chris says it is also known that Eric has never reversed himself on any topic. That's true. I always do that. And I really think that's an attribute. Like if I say something on a Friday and then I think about it more and I say, no, this is how I feel. And I say something different on a Monday. That's all good. To me, that is an asset. Because what I've done there is I've refined my thinking, put a finer point on it, and occasionally I change my mind. You ever hear that chauvinistic thing about, man, you ever want to, a woman always changes her mind. Yeah. Well, hey, I am extremely effeminate. So to me, that is an asset. Chris says it's almost as if you can think for yourself. Well, exactly. It's got to be me thinking for myself. I don't have time to listen to what anybody else says. I don't listen to anything. I don't pay attention to anybody on TV. I just see it. I'm like, oh, well, that's fucked up. It's very possible that I could say, oh, that's a fucked up scenario. And then like half an hour later say, you know what? I can see that happening. That's not a fucked up scenario at all. Tophus says men are way more emotional and change their minds way more than women. Well, I don't know. You got me. I couldn't tell you. Kenny says, Eric, I clipped what you said about black penis. Ha ha. So that means he just did it. So I guess, now I don't know this. This is something I just figured out the other day because Kenny said that he clipped something. I guess I go to my Twitch dashboard. It says creator dashboard. Okay, no, I don't want to look at that. I want to back to Twitch and then go to video producer. I don't know. Okay, in fact, let's do it like this so you can see it too. And then I'm going to go to clips. And, okay. Kenny says, Eric proclaiming his love for BBC. Now let's see how quick his work was on this. Hello, I'm Eric Zane. And there isn't a black penis that I wouldn't like to look at. Hello, I'm Eric Zane. And there isn't a black penis that I wouldn't like to look at. Okay. Let's see. I think... Now, I don't know how to do this. Feature this clip, I think, is what I hit last time. Okay, so Kenny, on your end, can you look? Because I'm on the back side of this. Can you go ahead and tell me if it shows up in your world? Give me the thumbs up. So that's it. You can only do it right after I say it. Oh, he says when you're live, I can't check. Okay. You'd have to be offline. Well, that's interesting. I don't know shit. So if I ever say anything, go ahead and clip it and just throw it up there. And then I should just make it a habit to go in and like feature all those. Chris says, wow, that's easy to make a clip. Kenny says clips can be created while live for the past 30 to 60 seconds. Holy shit. So are you telling me that you can't be watching this on demand and do it? There's got to be a way to do it where you're watching on demand and you just clip it and make a video of it. Maybe you can experiment with that too. I'm not doing it. There's no way I'm going to do that. So when I say, to me, I'm hoping my wife gets Down syndrome so I can have sex with a mongoloid. You see, that would be something that you'd want to clip. That's a ridiculous statement. It's so offensive and so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous it can't be offensive. It's that bad. Tophus says allow people to post links. I don't know how to do that shit. I barely can pull this off. Send me a how-to. You got that, Kenny Kink Eric? Don't allow links on chat. Just clip that wife clip and sent it. LOL. What do you mean by sent it? All right, let's see if we can pull this off again. Twice in one show that quickly. Clip what you said about black penis. Ha ha. So that means he just did it. So I guess, now I don't know this. This is something I just figured out the other day. This is from Tophus, because Kenny said that he clipped something. I guess I go to my Twitch. All right, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm hoping my wife gets Down syndrome so I can have sex with a mongoloid. You guys are getting it. I don't know how to do all this shit. Kenny's the one who started this. I guess we can't type mongoloid. Okay. You all know now. If you want to participate in that nonsense, you certainly can. I appreciate you very much. Okay, where am I? What is going on here? Tophus says, when you name the clip, you can't swear or type offensive shit. So you can write Mon space go space Lloyd. You got to be creative. Don't get me sued. Don't get me in trouble. Don't get me a Twitch ticket. Okay? Thank you to the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. They're awesome. No matter where you are in the listening audience, there is a Van Dyke Mortgage near you. Number one in the U.S. for a reason. Call today, 231-332-6505 when you are ready to dip your toe into the waters of home ownership. Get pre-approved for your mortgage today, 231-332-6505. Quit being a loser and paying rent to some asshole who's stealing your money. Reach out to the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. 231-332-6505 today. Rick from TC Paintball invites you to check him out online and book an event today at Grand Rapids. Incredible fun location of TC Paintball on the west side of GR. Their website is tcpaintballgr.com. If you are in the West Michigan area or maybe even beyond, a destination of fun is TC Paintball. You walk in with your crew. After you've booked your event, you pay one price. You get the paint, you get the gun, you get the mask, you get the fun, you get the field time. You'll love it. Indoor play, outdoor play. In the Village, airball, all sorts of different setups for you to play paintball at TC Paintball. Book your event today. Workplace team building. Maybe the kids are out of school looking for something fun to do. Book it at TC Paintball, online at tcpaintballgr.com. I love my pals at Jennison Pool and Spa Depot, 616-457-0500. For all of your pool supplies, 616-457-0500. They are on Chicago Drive, big blue front to their building. They're on the south side of Chicago Drive. That is the eastbound lanes of Chicago Drive in Jennison, Michigan. Jennison Pool and Spa Depot, 616-457-0500. A lot of places install pools but don't actually have a brick and mortar building. They have that there. In fact, I got to go there and get some of those chlorine pucks. Get you all your pool chemicals at Jennison Pool and Spa Depot and mention me, EZ, 616-457-0500. Make sure you mention me early because I just heard from somebody the other day who said, EZ, my God, I had a bad experience there. And I'm like, well, I don't know what the fuck happened, but holy shit. There's got to be a way to do it where you're watching on demand and you just clip it and make a video of it. Maybe you can experiment with that too. I'm not doing it. There's no way I'm going to do that. So when I say, to me, I'm hoping my wife gets Down syndrome so I can have sex with a mongoloid. I'm getting it now from more than one source. Reach out to the Jennison Pool and Spa Depot. Yeah, so-and-so reached out to me and goes, oh, man, I went there and so-and-so, I didn't like the way I was treated. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? That can't be. I'm not understanding you. So I tried to get to the bottom of it. I sent it off to Jeremy out the door. I go, hey, man, somebody's bitching. He goes, I have no idea what they're talking about. I'm hoping you went to the right place. Jennison Pool and Spa Depot, 616-457-0500. Okay. I got to take a pee. I will be right back. Tofa says maybe the guy complaining is just a dick. I don't think so. I have no idea.
Hey, honey, how you doing?
I'll be right back. Stand by. Coffade. Coffade. I like how Chris sent along his clip and Kenney, already taking ownership of making clips, writes, hey, don't forget to edit the clips for the specific part you want. Don't be lazy, LOL. Because Chris is like, didn't have it right queued up. Chris says, that was the first time I ever tried to make a clip, Kenney. Yeah, don't be lazy. Don't be a fucking lazy fuck. Give the guy a break. LOL, just wanted to mention it. All good. Ha ha. Use the slider thingy to pick start and stop times. He says, just trying to be helpful, dude. Yeah. Saying, don't be lazy is super helpful. Tyler says, wait. Which Chris is Kenney talking to? Hey, mate, I don't know which Chris it was. I know it says Chris from GR, and it's been the same way since forever. I don't know who that is. It could be Andy. It could be Chris from Columbus. Could be Eddie Chris Cuomo. It could be who could it be? I don't know. Chris says Kenney called me a lazy fuck. I heard it. Yeah, I thought so. Kenney says, okay. Where's Rick? Boy, you know, Rick couldn't be here today. He's got a commitment. You're being all needy and high maintenance again. Calling people names. The fuck is wrong with you? This is how beat-ups happen. All right. This is that story I was telling you about. I'm wearing my Pete's Auto Body gear right here. And a sweet lady who gave this to me, Amber Kendrick. This is like a family-run business. Forever, they have been in that location, and it's the business has worked its way through the family, and they're very prominent, and they buy cars, and then it's one of those pick-apart places. Like you go to their website and say, all right, I need a mirror from a 2007 Chevy pickup or whatever. Yeah, we got it. And then they go and they lift the part off of the car, and then you show up there and you buy the part. So like if they get a car for $1,000 that's doesn't run but can be parted out, they can make more than what they pay for the car. So this is like what the Averys did on Making a Murderer. So these are like the Averys in Manitowoc, Wisconsin, but there's no specter of murder. It's just a great family-run business. So this chick is pissed off from Pete's. Well, she's upset because these fucking brats keep going into their into the salvage yard and fucking up all the shit. So let's check this out and see what's going on. I might have to pay a visit to them again and say hello.
It's a bad case of deja vu for Pete's Auto Parts in Jenison. The owner telling me people have been breaking onto their property and damaging thousands of dollars of inventory. And this isn't the first time.
It's not what Amber Kendrick wants to do. It's what she says she has to do.
These kids have to be arrested. They have to be punished, or I guess it's not going to stop.
Kendrick owns Pete's Auto Parts, a salvage yard started by her grandpa in the 1950s. And it might not look like it, but each one of their 900 vehicles has value.
Every vehicle that we buy, we bid on at auction for a dollar amount based on what we think we can sell. Obviously, this vehicle is going to lose a lot of money because these kids destroyed parts, and it never needed to happen.
Kendrick believes a group of kids are sneaking on site.
It's all dented in, and we think maybe the kids are coming over here.
And shattering glass windows or taking cars for joyrides. This Ford Edge, the latest example.
These scrapes all down the door, they broke the door mirror. They destroyed the fender. They destroyed the hood. They destroyed the A-pillar. They destroyed the front door. They destroyed the rear door. They destroyed the quarter panel.
Kendrick convinced its kids because of what happened in 2022.
We had this problem 2 years ago, and those kids destroyed $67,000 worth of parts. That was the same amount of money that we were budgeting for Christmas bonuses.
It was 4 of them, all 12 to 14 years old. And she says they didn't steal. There didn't seem to be any malicious intent, so they handled it through mediation. And the circumstances this time might be similar, but her response will be different.
This time around, we're going after these kids as hard as we
Oh, she's holding a sign that says, notice, lawful concealed carry permitted on premises. She's trying to say we're going to fucking shoot you. Tophus says, I mean, why didn't you have cameras and shit before? They do. That's how they caught him the last time. I don't know. Wait, unless I missed something. Did she say in the thing that she doesn't have cameras? I don't think so.
can.
Captain Jake Sparks with the Ottawa County Sheriff's Office says those responsible could face trespassing violations and destruction of property. And I'm told they have increased patrols in that area at night. In the meantime, Pete's is in the process of upgrading its security system.
There you go.
As well. Reporting here in studio, Max Goldwasser, Fox 17 News.
Okay, so what they need to do, this is what they should do. Easily taken care of. Fuck the security. You need a Rottweiler. There you go. Tophus says get some rabid dogs, shoot them, and be done with it. Well, I don't know if you want to shoot them, but the idea that, I mean, if you have some, literally, isn't there a song where the guy says, Bad Leroy Brown, baddest man in the whole damn town. Meaner than old King Kong. Badder than old King Kong, meaner than a junkyard dog. If you get any dog and you put it in a junkyard, they're going to turn into assholes that want to bite the nuts off these fucking kids. And in the story, they were talking about how the last time they were between 12 and 14. Now, first of all, that's pretty much near the age of my grandson. I cannot imagine my grandson doing something like this. I mean, first of all, if any kid has the way parents are these days, they're always like, they always know where their kids are. If any parent doesn't know where their kids are around here, you know that they're trash. There's a lot of these shithead trash parents, especially in Jenison. Jenison is a little bit, there's some parts of Jenison where it's some real garbage people live there. All right. Now, I got out of Jenison because I knew it was time to get a hot tub. And when it came time to getting a house with a hot tub and an in-ground kidney bean-shaped pool, I can't do that in Jenison. If I have that stuff and I live in Jenison, someone's going to fuck it up. Where I live now, there are no trash people. And if there are, they're not allowed in. The Homeowners Association says you must leave. We don't want you here. We do discriminate. This is not a democracy. Get out, losers. Okay? Pooh Bear just left to go let Cece out. Pooh Bear's home for the summer. This is a big deal. More on that in a second. So anyway, Jenison's there's a good part of Jenison that's a big pile of shit. And if you're not in the pile of shit part of Jenison, you're close enough to it, and these loser kids will fuck your shit up. They'll steal from your car. They're fucking idiots, okay? You know? So it's probably some of these piece of shit Jenison poverty kids who go into Pete's and fuck up my lady here's junkyard. It's pretty bad when you can fuck up a junkyard. So that's just a big pile of bullshit right there. I love Pete's Auto Body. It was so cool because I went in and tried to get them to spend money on advertising. And they go, well, easy. Most of our business is not from the public. It's from dealerships and parts places and auto repair places. And I go, oh, yeah, okay, it probably would not work out. And she goes, but you know what? Thank you for coming here. Here's a Pete's Auto Body sweatshirt. So I wear that shit all the time. I love my Pete's Auto Body. This is like the most comfortable thing I own. And I'll tell you this. For my truck, I needed 2 new mirrors. They were fucked up. I ripped them both off when I was backing out of my garage because I'm not that great at driving. I got new mirrors there from Pete's. And then I said to her, I go, well, I don't know how to put them on. She kind of looks at me like I'm a big pussy. And she's like, fucking, look it up. It's YouTube. YouTube is your friend. I can guarantee you there's 1,000,001 spots online where you can find this shit and look it up. I go, all right. You don't need to make me feel like a bigger asshole. All you had to do is say nicely. So she's right, though. I went there and looked it up and put the mirrors on. Now, they're still kind of fucked up, but it works to some degree. It's the best I could do. Turn the cameras off and bury them under some junk cars. Okay. Tofa says a lot of the junk cars they get do have good parts on them, like doors and shit, so that makes sense. Oh, yeah, they part them out. It's a great business. Both mirrors off at the same time, or did you break one off and move to the other way and broke that one off? No. The left one was already fucked up. I did not do the damage to that one, but the right one, I did rip that off. So it's just hanging off the car. Like, oh, shit. But no, I did replace those. I did it myself. I feel good about that. I actually, when I put my time to it, when I take my time, I can actually do good work mechanically. But I need to be 100% sure that I have the right tools and help to do it. Like, I just changed the oil on Madison's Accord. And so I drained the oil. First of all, I didn't have ramps. So I jacked up the car. Now, you do not want to get under the car with just the jack supporting it. I know that much because you're going to do a Mark Fidrich on that deal. And you don't want to do a Mark Fidrich. Legendary pitcher was working on one of his trucks at his home in Worcester, Mass. And a fucking jack went out on him and crushed him. So I'm thinking Fidrich when I'm like, okay. So I don't have jack stands. I don't have ramps. So I put a tire under there. All right, that'll work. Like a tire and a rim, an inflated tire. Not just like a rubber tire. So I change the oil. The oil comes out, and I got to take I'm like, okay, filter. Where is this? And it's tough to get to. They're really starting to pack them in where you can't even access the son of a bitch. Now, two things. In my past, I've been changing the oil on a vehicle, and then when putting the bolt back in, I stripped out the oil pan. You got to be careful. I did not do that, so I drained the oil. And then the other thing is, I got to make sure I can get the filter off. So I try to turn it, and I can't get it off. And I go and I grab a pair of channel locks from the Hallelujahs, my neighbor. And I put the channel locks on the son of a bitch, and I'm turning it, and all of a sudden oil starts pouring. It's because I've compromised it, and I squeezed it like a fucking tin can with the channel locks. So I'm fucking, oil's coming off my arm. I move the pan over. It's really tight under there. My son of a bitch. Well, I got to get something else. So I've got one of those things that you attach a ratchet to, and it grabs on, but it's too big. I'm like, shit. So I had to drive all the way back to the Advanced Auto Parts and get another one of those that was smaller. And boy, I was sweating it because I put that thing out there and I try to turn it and it starts to move. I'm like, thank God, man. Thank God. I even one time when I was a kid getting the oil filter off, somebody said, this is what you do. You drill a hole in the filter and then you stick a screwdriver in it and then you turn it. I'm like, oh, okay, great. So I think he knew that I would do it and was just fucking with me because he knew it didn't work. But I drilled a hole in that bitch, and so the oil's pouring out of it. And then I stick the screwdriver through it, and I try to turn it, and all that did was shred the oil filter. I'm like, Jesus Christ. That was a bitch. Do not do that. Oh, look, that's what Bob said. Holy shit, you dumb fuck. He says stab it with a big screwdriver. No, you do not do that. Only an asshole would do that. That is bullshit. Chris says I've done that too. You need to start a YouTube channel. How not to fix this. Well, I got too much on my plate right now. I've got you guys making clips. But that would be fun to do. So anyway, I ended up getting the filter off, and I put the new one on, and now I've got the right gear. And I think I'm going to actually invest in a set of ramps. I really think I'm going to. Kenny says that's a great idea. In all honesty, because in doing this, I had watched a YouTube video about all of this, of doing this job, but I think the video channel that I could build is, and I don't know how to word it, but it would be, I watched a YouTube video. Let's see if this works. And then in my video, I would show the video that I watched. And then, all right, now this asshole said to do this. Let's check it out. And then whether or not it worked. So I would have to shoot me doing the job. And it could be anything. It could be a short, like this, changing the oil. Or, something with another thing in my house that I have to repair. If I ever did that, I would do it with, but I wouldn't want to force the content. Like I could only I might only make a video once or twice a year. Nick says I drive a Subaru because the oil filter is right under the hood. Tofa says I'd watch a conversation between Zane and his wife. They are filthy. Bob says, last oil change I did in a vehicle I had just purchased. Last guy to change the oil must have used an impact wrench, or whatever that is, to put the filter on. All right. Well, anyway, I don't even know how I got onto this topic. How the hell? I know I was talking about Pete's Auto Parts. But how did I get to where I was? I don't know. It doesn't matter, at this point. God. Tofus says there's no reason to use an impact wrench on an oil filter unless you're a lazy fuck. So I just hand tighten it. All you do basically is when the gasket touches the actual metal, then it's 1 1/4 turns. And I can't even get it that tight. I don't have the strength. I have very, very weak hands. All right. Mondays on this show are Act 1 and Act 2, as we now have 3 dogs in here. Oh, Bruce just came in. What's up, big guy? I just told Diana that I want Bruce to have a black collar, a leather collar with metal studs, because he's a Frenchie, and he just would look good with that, I think. And then Darla, I want a pink collar with metal studs. O'Neill, I'm not sure what I could get for O'Neill because that just doesn't fit him. He's too laid back of a dog. Oh, by the way, I got a great story for you. Check this out. So I'm in the front yard with Darla and O'Neill. I'm sorry, Darla and Bruce on leashes. O'Neill is in the backyard. He jumps down off the retaining wall, comes around to the front of the house. He does that from time to time. So I'm like, okay, let's go inside now. But as I'm walking these two in who are on leashes, O'Neill sees Teddy down the street. He's another dog. Teddy and Ruby are playing. And O'Neill's like, oh, my God, I love other dogs. So he takes off. And I bring in Darla and Bruce, and I go walking over to the neighbors, and they're all like, it's like a dog park now. So now these 3 are frolicking. Now, Teddy and Ruby are on leashes. O'Neill is not. But he's just hanging with them. I've got to walk 4 houses down. They see me. I wave, and I'm coming to get him. I have the leash in my hand. Well, as luck would have it, this mom and her daughter are walking another dog. It looks like some type of doodle dog. Everybody's got a doodle dog in this neighborhood. Teddy is a doodle dog. Ruby is a doodle dog. This dog walking down the street is a doodle dog. Doodle dog is walking along just as I'm arriving on the scene. O'Neill sees Doodle Dog and walks up to Doodle Dog and says, hey, how are you? What's up? Doodle Dog's not a fan. He goes, rawr, 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 rawr. And I go, oops, sorry about that. And I'm putting the leash on O'Neill. Clip. He's on my leash now. Doodle Dog has just been groomed, and he looks fuzzy and soft. So I said that. I go, your dog looks very fuzzy and soft and fun. And then Mom says, we just got him groomed. And I said, oh, that's cool. And then daughter, who she goes, we have to go. Just like that. And I go, and I don't say anything. I have this look on my face. We have to go. And she kind of pulls the dog along and she goes, our dog is reactionary. We have to go. And she said it like, you know, when Kenny's crying. And I'm like, and I now in my head, I'm like, okay. All right. And so that was weird, right? And Tophus says the same thing that I was just going to say right now. I will bet that dog is like that, hyper and high-strung, because of the chick. Ooh. I was talking with Charity Scam Mike, my brother-in-law, today. Or not today, over this past weekend. Well, 2 weekends ago. And we were talking about dogs and dog owners. He goes, I have learned, Eric, in all my time visiting, he sells alarm systems. And in selling and installing alarms, that if there is a asshole dog, it always has an asshole owner. And if a dog is chill and fun, the owner is chill and fun. I go, you're fucking right. He goes, easy, I'm looking at your dogs. You have 4 chill dogs. I go, I know, because I'm great. Asshole dog, more often than not, asshole owner. Isn't that crazy? I agree with that. We have to go. Ooh. Hyper dog lady. So I just look at her like, okay. Kenny says Zaytunian dogs, not Zane dogs. Chris says Kyle's dog must be mad chill, bro. Oh, you're talking about Kyle from a company that used to market themselves on this radio station. I think I've met his dog. I think he has 2. They are pretty laid back. Bob says that would perfectly explain my ex-mother-in-law and her dog. So, by the way, Bob, this soccer team I was talking about, that was in the Act 1 of today's show. These fucking thugs. They were from Erie, PA. Isn't that somewhere near your neck of the woods? Erie, PA? Bunch of dicks. That number 4 should have gotten 2 yellows, which I believe that means you got a red. You can't play anymore. He kept mugging our fucking players, and then he never got another yellow. They eventually took him out of the game, and then that one fan was in the stands bitching. And then Chris had to lean out of the box and say, sir, please, no more, sir. Poor Chris. All right. Where was I? Thank you to King's Room Barbershop. By the way, they have 3 locations. I'm desperately in need of a haircut. Northland Drive, Caledonia, and at 821 36th Street in Wyoming. My pal Chris over there, Soccer Chris D. What Chris? I don't know what Chris is. He's going to have to get his hair cut because he wears like this pony. Now, he can pull off the pony, all right? But he's letting his hair grow out. I think he lost a bet to one of his teams. They like, if they achieved something, he has to grow his hair out or something. I don't know. When you cut it, would you go to King's Room, please? They're online at kingsroom.net. Thank you to King's Room Barbershop. They, if you're a dude, you get your hair cut at King's Room, or if you're a chick who likes short hair. Frank Fuss is the guru for all things insurance. I'm not kidding you. I am so happy with what Frank did for me for life insurance. Now, a lot of you are younger, so it's not as many moving parts. Your health more than likely is perfect. I finished one policy. I lived longer than the policy. Policy ends. I go to buy another policy. I'm older now. I came back as a preferred, meaning they looked at all my medical shit. And this isn't for everybody. Not everybody gets a medical check. It's a coin toss. It depends on the insurance company. But for the life insurance policy I bought, they did want a medical check. I came back as preferred, which means that my costs came in lower per month for a fantastic $250,000 policy. Holy shit. And I'm locked in for 30 years. So take my money for 30 years every month. Take it. Take it. $165 is what I'm paying. You might think, damn, that's a lot. That's because I'm old. For you young fucks, you're going to get so much more for so much less. Okay? If you're in your 30s and you spent $165 a month, you're looking at $1 million policy. I don't have that luxury. But still, if I die one day before I turn 83, Pooh Bear gets $250,000. If you don't have a life insurance policy, you're fucking crazy. Reach out to Frank and say, EZ told me to reach out to you about a life insurance policy. Go to buy, B-U-Y, insurancehere.com and fill out the form. All this does is that means he calls you. It's just you basically introducing yourself to him. Give him your info. He'll reach out to you. There's a spot there where it says, where did you hear about me? Make sure you put me. Because Frank's always busting my balls. I haven't heard from anybody. So reach out to that fucker. Finally, I want you to buy some Split Rock coffee on my Vouch store. Go to vouch.store/Eric Zane and buy the coffee. Do it today. Asshole of the day. What do we got for asshole of the day? We got the kids that fucked up Pete's Auto Body. We can go with Kyle from Steve and Kyle. We can go with the assholes from Erie, PA, the soccer team. What else? Oh, the dumb shit who thought that I was actually talking to Trump. Oh, my God. How embarrassing is that? Bob says, asshole of the day, all the Chris's in the chat. No, we can't do that. If anybody, it would be Kenney for what? Being confused about a Chris and then like voicing it. How many Chris's are in the chat? Tophus says I'm one. Well, I didn't know that. I didn't know you were a Chris. To me, you're just Tophus. How would I write that? Trump guy? Trump guy is asshole of the day? I don't know if I want to make him asshole of the day. It's taking a lot to write this down. Is vandalizers a word? Your asshole of the day today is Pete's Auto Body Vandalizers. Congrats to you, you little fucks. Yeah, I hope that at Pete's they buy like any dog that is known to bite dicks off. Doberman Pinschers, Rottweilers. What are those ones that can jump like miles? They're called Belgian Malinois. That's what they are. Belgian Malinois, and German Shepherds. Chris says, see you guys at 6 p.m. after Patreon pre-nap. No, I am not taking a nap today. I am fucking fired up. I am not taking a nap today. Oh, and by the way, good news. All right. I am going to be working tonight at Bosco's Pub. So go there for dinner. All right. Bosco's Pub. I will be there. Thank you. You've been a wonderful audience. You're really, really great. Don't be a stranger. Send me a email, eric@ericzaneshow.com. If you want to say hello, if you have any news stories you want to send my way. Thank you so much for being here. Till next time, bye-bye.